It's just a nice way to start.
Healthy relationships, healthy communication, healthy.
Healthy communication in a relationship.
In a relationship. Healthy communication in a relationship.
Ugh. Yeah.
I'm going to let you lead this one. Yeah, that's right.
Tell me about your dream last
I got
night.
my dream.
Yeah, tell us about your dream last night.
Well, I don't remember specifics, but I remember I was complaining. I was trying to like get my way with something and you were not biting. I was and nothing was biting. You weren't taking the bait. And I was getting so upset. I was throwing tantrums, just getting mad, just getting real mad.
And what was I doing?
Not giving in, just kind of like just not engaging, just not giving me an inch. And I was just reeling and upset.
Did I tell you about my last session in counseling where she told me about she used the tantrum analogy?
No. Tell me.
She was, you can cut this if you need
I
to.
am not going to.
Okay.
I have nothing to hide.
Okay. So we were talking about ADHD.
I'm going to cut this.
We were talking about ADHD and I was like, I don't really understand a lot about it. Like, it's not something that I feel super knowledgeable on. Can you help me understand what this kind of like, what kind of happens?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how like she used the example of when so say you're a parent.
Okay.
And your kid comes home from school super dysregulated, like just like not okay, frantic, hungry, just like so dysregulated.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as they get home, friends are like, oh, like let's go dirt biking or something like that.
I realized I forgot to do something.
Okay.
I think it's okay. I just forgot to format the memory card. No, there's still plenty of time. We're good. Sorry. Let's go dirt biking.
ADHD.
ADHD.
So yeah, kid comes home super dysregulated, wants to go dirt biking with friends, like something really high intensity, like another kind of high stimulating thing.
I can relate.
Yeah. So the option is either you allow them to just go and do that in a super dysregulated state and just like keep upping the ante and keep like being dysregulated.
Yeah.
Or you set like containment and a boundary of
force them to meditate.
Well, it's like, can we have a snack? Like this was just the example. Can we have a snack? Can we sit down? Can we just take half an hour? You chill out and then you can go.
Yeah.
And she said that like it's almost like having a kid having a tantrum when they're so dysregulated and they're like, I can't regulate myself, so I'm going to freak out. And it's my role in that ADHD state to set a boundary with you.
Yeah.
And to be able to say like, whatever it is, like we're gonna pause this and go take a break and have this conversation later, or like we can do this or we can do this, but we cannot, like you can't talk to me this way or blah blah blah, like in that heightened state.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you had a dream about my counseling session.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
Is that okay of me to say?
Totally. I'm not like that.
No.
Really?
No. But in that kind of like...
Am I? Sometimes. It's like, it would be like the go-to for me is to, like, it's hard when things are not going well to just not get overwhelmed.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not that you're having a tantrum. That's like an exaggerated example. But it's almost like co-regulation happens more with actually like setting a boundary and giving you parameters to regulate versus my go-to of like, I'm going to fix her. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to whatever. That's not actually helping the situation because then I'm dysregulated and you're dysregulated and we're not getting along.
Yeah.
So it's like the importance of setting a boundary in that regulated state to give you a container. Like she was explaining with ADHD, like it's just there's no containment in that overwhelmed state. So there needs to be, whether you make that container or someone else does that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just spin your wheels.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Cool. Right on. Sweet. Should we end her there? Just kidding. Yeah.
That wasn't to say, like, that wasn't critiquing.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I don't want you to think that we talk about you and like, oh, he's like a child.
You're allowed to. I don't mind that. Like, I think there's a...
Well, it was more of just like an example of like how ADHD, because I was like, I don't understand what's going on for you in that state. I know from like an anxious point of view, what's happening in dysregulation, but I don't know what could be happening necessarily from like an ADHD point of view.
Yeah, but I think it's important to talk or to be able to talk to your counselor about your partner at their worst.
Yeah, we were just talking about that this morning, actually.
You and your counselor?
No.
You call them on the phone between
the
us having coffee and us doing this?
No, we were talking, me and you were just talking about the importance of like, you can only get so far sometimes with friends.
Yeah.
Or I've, in previous relationships, been hesitant to maybe be as honest with friends because they know my partner, they're friends with my partner. Like, I don't want them to perceive them or judge them or something. And friends are protective.
It's hard when you start talking to friends about that stuff and they want to, it's like a fine line between just kind of helping and hearing it out, but you don't want them to like demonize the person because you want them to be able to hear that like I'm really struggling with this or they struggle with this, which makes it hard for me, and not have them just be like, well, fuck them.
No, it's not helpful.
No.
You know, like, and I think I've had previous friendships where that's happened, where it's like girl code, like fuck him. It's like, that's not constructive.
No.
Like sometimes you need to have like a rant.
Yeah.
But also when you are like, this is an ongoing issue in our relationship, or this is something that we're working on. Yeah. Like the friends that I have right now that I can go to when we're struggling with something, they'll hold me accountable and you in that situation.
We're lucky. We have good friends.
Super lucky.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like when I share something that they're, even if I'm saying it out of like just pure frustration, that they're gonna like hold it against me or you.
Yeah.
You know, like
totally. Whenever I talk to my friends about like the difficulties that we have, and let's say you are the subject of that discussion, they all still hold such love for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No one's ever said anything bad about you.
No, because I think being a friend is recognizing like putting yourself in their shoes too, of like, you would want to be able to have a space where you can just come and be like, ugh, and not have it linger over you, but also know that like if linger, but also know that if your friend was like, that's not okay, it like packs more of a punch than just being like, fuck him, you know, totally. Like that doesn't do anything. That just fuels the fire and doesn't help when you go back into your relationship later.
Totes. Yeah. Okay, healthy communication. What? I saw that eye roll, and the camera caught it. You're on camera.
There's no ADHD brain just being like, we got to stay on task.
Well, I'm just so curious to know how you're going to define healthy communication.
You go first.
No, you go first.
Specifically in relationships?
Yes. Or maybe not, but it's just, I think it's interesting because like, I think that's the general, people generally say that when you ask them what's the key to a good relationship, and they say communication, you know, and what they really mean is like healthy communication. But what is that? Is that honesty? Is it always being honest? Is it yada, 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 yada? What is it?
Well, on one side, I think when people say like, oh, good communication
Yeah.
is like a foundation for a good relationship, I think what they're actually meaning is like safety and trust.
Okay.
So
Those are good words. They are.
So I think that like communication is like the vessel that you get safety and trust through in a relationship.
So you build safety and trust through the communication.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Because communication, I just feel like only goes so far, but it builds trust and it builds safety, which.
But not all communication.
No, but like a good, like healthy communication.
But what is that?
Okay. So healthy communication is, I think, being respectful, listening, like not to just prove a point or not to.
Yeah, what does that look like?
I think the like saying of like listening not to what is it where it's like
not waiting for them to be done so you can say your thing?
Yeah. There's a more eloquent way to say that, but
it's so true. It's so true when you think about, like, I always think about how to listen good for therapy. But I think it's pretty much the same concept in relationships. Because when someone says something, oftentimes if you're in a fight with them or like a disagreement, like a word will happen or something will happen and you'll, what?
Nothing. I'm thinking about our argument the other day.
And you'll, right? For both of us, though, we both did it. And we'll like key on to that word and think in our head. And I'll notice myself start to plot and be like, well, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
You know? And then completely miss the next like 20 seconds of what you've said. Because I'm trying to prove my point. Like I'm trying to kind of win the argument in a sense. It's not about hearing your thought to its completion and really like trying to understand it and sit with it.
And would you say the reason that you were in that state of wanting to like win or prove your point was because you weren't feeling seen?
Defensiveness and trigger. Like when you are too overwhelmed, like when you are too threatened in the discussion, you know, to just be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You can't be vulnerable because you feel so threatened.
Right.
So your defenses are up.
Yeah.
It's like the soldiers are on guard. They think an attack is coming.
Was that because you felt not seen for who you were though?
In that conversation, the one in the bedroom we were having, yes, because I felt like I was trying to be just logically honest about the experience that I had in that moment. But I said a couple words that were triggering to you. And then you kind of got a bit elevated, which made me get elevated. And then we were kind of in this like non-productive elevated state.
Yeah. Because I think that's the essence of it is like in healthy communication, both people feel seen. Yeah. Both people feel heard and both people feel respected.
Yeah.
But when you are triggered, when you're feeling it's not safe, when you're feeling overwhelmed, all of those factors then lead to you feeling defensive, leading to like saying things that you don't necessarily mean or trying to prove your point. The whole foundation of like just listening kind of goes out the window because you're activated and you're just not feeling safe.
If you were to have like an anchor to sort of like hold, if we're saying to like all couples out there, you know, because like you and I have had the benefit of doing a lot of therapy, a lot of work, and we kind of get along in very nice ways with this stuff, you know, like we're both very willing to go into these like deeply communicative states and talk about it and all this stuff. But if you're just like, I don't know, a whatever couple or whatever, like how do you stay in that zone of non-trigger and openness and non-defensiveness?
Two things come to mind. One is sometimes talking to the person less as your partner and more as a friend. Because I think sometimes we can be really shitty to the people we love the most. And
it's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that answer. That's cool though.
yeah, just I think that sometimes the taking away the like deep emotional entanglement of the relationship, like just a step away from that can give you a bit more perspective.
Is this something you actively do?
Sometimes, honestly, sometimes there's been times where we've talked about intimacy. We've talked about intimacy, and in order for me to try and hear you just as you, I have to remove myself as the partner.
Yeah, actually, I know what you. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You're actually quite good at that.
And sometimes it kind of borders on the like, not that like I'm the counselor and you're the client, but it helps me take out of that like personal tie to it. And I am imagining like, okay, someone is coming to me and talking about this situation about another person, not about me, but about another person.
To remove the personal triggers and aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The where that gets tricky though is I think sometimes in that conversation, using that strategy, I've lost advocating for myself.
Yeah. You become too neutral, too unbothered, or too much the counselor, the objective.
Yeah, like I am just trying to support you, but I'm forgetting that like I'm having hurt feelings in this, and like I'm not sharing that with you.
And it's not an excuse for the person to just say whatever they want.
And that's something that's been difficult for our relationship is like you are just a very honest person.
Yeah.
And grew up that way, like how you talk with your family or your sister or, you know, friends and stuff. I think being a guy, there's a lot of factors that play into being a bit more, I wouldn't say blunt, but yeah, a bit more honest.
And not as careful with how I word things.
Whereas being a woman growing up in a family that like, I would say.
You guys don't talk to each other like that.
No, like we're so careful.
Yeah.
To a fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're so careful about like not wanting to hurt the other person that we, I think, hurt ourselves.
Yeah.
And so in our relationship, that's been a tricky one where you've helped me learn that it's important to just be like straight up, especially for you. That's more helpful for you to receive it of me just being like, I need this.
Yeah.
And you don't take it personally.
No, I like the hard truth.
It's so much easier for you to be like, okay, click. Like that's now in my brain.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she's saying.
Yeah.
But sometimes you saying things more straight to me can feel mean. And it's not. It's just I'm so not used to like a straight shooter.
Maybe that's because I'm like, it's almost natural for me to remove myself as the partner and to just like say the logical thing of what I'm experiencing.
And I think that's one of the difficulties when you said like, what's the anchor for a couple in this relationship? It's hard. I don't think there is one because it's so dependent on the other person. You can come in with like the best listening, like active listening skills and be so patient and calm and regulated. If your partner isn't, you're probably not going to have a super constructive conversation because they're not able to take in what you're saying. Like I've been in a relationship like that where the other person is just so unwilling. It didn't matter how I explained things, how calm I was. It didn't even matter when I got elevated. Like I remember certain conversations that I was like, this, like you cannot do this anymore. And it still was not. So in that sense, it doesn't matter how much. There's limits. It's a two-way street. And I think that, there's certain kind of like techniques you can do, but
both parties have to be willing to engage in that, to go onto the track and drive on the race. You know, it's like both parties have to be engaging like actively in the conversation and taking it seriously and taking the other person's perspective seriously and engaging like very presently, at least, even if you're not good at it. It's like you gotta arrive at the table, at least, if you're that person or that dude who is not used to talking about their feelings. I'm not making excuses for what's his nuts, but if you're that person, you know. And I think most, like, if you're a man-woman relationship, most women, I think, are very receptive if the guy just tries, if they just show up and they're just trying. You don't have to be good at talking about your feelings. You don't have to even know what you're feeling. Just arrive. And I think the problem is like the overwhelm that comes, you know? And that is like one of the bottom lines, I think, is you have to be aware to some extent of your triggers and when you start to get elevated, because when you're that elevated, productivity and sort of good communication just goes out the freaking window.
And I mean, we've had that. We're good communicators.
Yeah.
And there's times that we are not communicating well, like the other night, because
it was like this point.
Yeah.
It was like the needle tipped to that point of like red line, and I could feel myself just be frustrated.
Yeah.
And there was just nothing good that was going to come after that.
No. And yeah, I think in those moments, like for us at least, I realized like like I could feel myself getting really frustrated and having to like
got some real-time processing going on here, folks.
Yeah. I think I realized like, okay, we're either, the options are we stay frustrated and we go to bed angry, and then tomorrow is going to be shitty because we're like unresolved and yucky.
Yeah.
Or what I know is important to you is for me to take accountability in the sense of like recognizing certain behaviors that I was participating in. So I recognize that and I apologize. Like, I'm sorry that I got triggered. I'm sorry that, like, I can't remember what I said, but I apologized in some way because I needed us to drop back down.
Yeah.
And so if we kept arguing back and forth and trying to prove our point, it was just going to get worse. Yeah. There almost needed to be like a fall on your sword kind of moment of being like, not in the sense of taking accountability for something that is not true, but recognizing, okay, this person in front of me is hurt because I didn't hear that they were trying really hard to communicate with me. That was one of the points. Yeah. So I need to acknowledge that effort that you were bringing to the table, because that was a part of you that was feeling unseen and creating that defensiveness. Yeah. And that I could feel just like shifted the energy, because it was like, I'm not against you. I'm not thinking I'm better than you. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. We're back. We're getting back to being, okay, we're in this together. Yeah.
It was a huge shift for me too, because I think in that moment, it felt like you were at least willing, and you did, like you saw at least what I was trying to do. You know, it didn't come across right and it upset you. And that is something that I tried to own. Yeah. But I think you at least saw that what I was trying to get across in my mind, you know, just my experience. And you did see that, which for me is everything. You know, we don't have to agree. It doesn't have to be the same reality, but at least understand my reality, and I will try to understand yours.
And I think
in a calm way.
And I think that is the essence of good, healthy communication. Is like, what is my reality and what is yours?
Yeah, I think so too. I often talk to couples about this, because there's this funny thing that happens when like people just, and I'm thinking of one friend example, when people get it in their head that the other person is just wrong, like objectively wrong. And they'll talk to me like, yeah, but da 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 da, like they do this, so it's blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I get why that upsets you, but they have a completely different reality in their head. Like their experience is so different, and to think that yours is completely right and theirs is completely wrong is just like kind of delusional and almost borderline arrogant. Like there isn't a lot of objective right and wrongs in relationships unless you're like legitimately hurting the other person badly, continuously, and it's blatant. But like a lot of these discussions and arguments and, you know, philosophical differences and values about money and this and that, like it's up for debate. Some people would agree, some people would not agree. So try to understand at least who your partner is or who your friend is and like where they're coming from.
I think that is a big one, is like before you even get to the point of communicating, you have to know who you're communicating with.
Yeah.
So
because they're not like you. They bring a completely different set of experiences.
Yeah.
Different genetic makeup, different emotions on the day. Like
for example, like I know you have some of the things that really piss you off are like hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I know that being seen and heard, it's not about being right or wrong, but as long as you feel seen and understood, that is a huge thing.
Yeah. You know where the word hypocrisy comes from?
Like the Greek guy?
Yeah. It was some Greek dude. Hippocrates or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I just thought that's funny, you know? It's weird. That's where that word comes from? Some Greek dude?
Probably a lot of our words come from
Greek men.
Yeah. But I think like, you know, for me, if you raise your voice, not in an angry, aggressive way, but just elevating your voice, that is a trigger for me.
Yeah, I have to be calm with you.
Yeah, there's
good.
And like not swearing and like and again, not swearing in the sense of like being aggressive, but just like you'll get fired up about and like almost like passionate.
Yeah.
And I mean, we swear on the daily, but it's the energy that you come with that I'm very sensitive with.
But it's been a really good learning for me because the ways that I'm used to communicating, like whether it's with family or just friends or in my past relationships, that doesn't work for you. You need more calm and more kind of like, you need to know that I'm not just taking out the thing on you and that I'm talking with you and not just at you.
Yeah.
Which is really good and is really important for me to remember because I'm trying really hard to just, when I'm trying to communicate something difficult, to just understand like what's the level that I'm at and where am I, like where's my emotional kind of level here? Because I need to be level.
And I think that's another example of like the right and wrong. Like it's not, and this is something that I've learned.
Yeah.
It's not wrong that you're frustrated. It's not wrong that you get angry. Just like it's not wrong for me to go towards crying. Like those are our responses. But when it comes out on the other person or it makes the other person feel unsafe or something, that's when it's not okay.
Totally.
And
you got to understand that like what makes someone else unsafe might not make you feel unsafe.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, you know?
And it doesn't even have to make sense to you.
No.
But the underlying theme of that is I see you and I'm trying to understand and respect you in that.
Totally.
So even though I don't perceive myself to be, or I don't see it as being like, there's been times where we've had conversations where I feel like I am seeing you, but you are not feeling that.
Yeah.
And so I have to respect that even though I'm trying, even though that's what my intention is, it doesn't mean that that is how it's being received.
Yeah. It's like not landing for some reason. There's like a missing piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big one. And when I think about my ex, one thing that I used to say to myself a lot to now in retrospect excuse the behavior was, well, he doesn't know how. I'm a counselor. I know how to communicate. He didn't learn how to communicate. He doesn't know how.
Yeah. This is a big one.
And I think that a lot of males can relate to that of being like, well, it doesn't feel comfortable. I don't know how to say the right thing. And then that feels very vulnerable and leads you probably feeling very insecure.
Yep. Stupid, just unknowing. For men to go into a space where they don't know I think, is generally a little more threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Men
when
are supposed to know.
yeah, you're supposed to know and you're supposed to like
Show strength.
yeah, and figure it out and have a plan.
Yeah.
And I think that when I look back to my past relationship, I didn't need him to have the right language. I didn't need him to have the right active listening skills that I'd learned in counseling. It was not that. It was a willingness
The care and to try.
and care. And to be able to like come to the table and be vulnerable of being like, I don't know how to do this, but I want to for us.
Totally. Yeah.
That was all I needed. And I think that talking with other friends too, like the effort and the willingness to try goes so much farther than
It does.
having the right words.
Totally.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that there's little things like don't be on your phone, put the TV, like turn the TV off, like
100%. Actually be talking.
yeah, carve out some time, especially if you have kids, like recognize that you can have time to show that this is important and I value that you're bringing this to me, or I value that we're having this conversation for us.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take away the distractions.
No, like end of the day is a tough one, I think.
Yeah.
Like we notice that if it's the end of the day, you're just more tired, your capacity is lower. Like general with everything, if your energy is more drained, you will not have as much capacity to engage in a difficult task. And communication can be a really challenging thing, to keep your stuff at bay and to healthily and calmly kind of communicate, and in the moment be like, okay, that was hard for me to hear, but I gotta like just kind of hold that and like keep listening and hear what they're saying and stay in this and not let myself get carried away. But when you're exhausted and tired and you've worked all day, or maybe your kids have been nuts all day, that's just going to be harder to do. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think that's been something that I've been reflecting on, is like, what's my capacity?
Yeah.
And tuning into what does overwhelm actually feel like for me, and how does it show up? Just like I'm learning how I can sense when you're overwhelmed and when you just don't have the capacity. And that's not, I don't need to take that personally.
Yeah.
But again, it's recognizing I might have the capacity. I might be able to have a conversation when I haven't slept super well.
Yeah.
Maybe not you.
Well, hon, it's never about you. Like, you never on your own make me overwhelmed. It's, you don't genuinely, like, you don't annoy me. You don't tire me out. The reasons in which I feel overwhelmed are, if I don't sleep good is number one. Like if I'm not well rested, if I haven't exercised, if I'm eating crappy, like if my physical self is not taken care of, it's way easier to tip me off the edge. And then it just goes to like, you know, what has been the balance of things like work, counseling. I love counseling, but it takes a lot, you know, it takes a lot of energy. So what's the balance between that versus things that I do to restore me, like play pool and play basketball or whatever, you know, work out, like just things that kind of bring me back to
you,
me. And then sometimes it's just like the straw that breaks.
And I think if you anticipate that certain conversations are going to be hard, or that it's not comfortable for you, and you're at a place where like any kind of conversation brings up a little bit of overwhelm, you have to be even more aware of like, how can I set myself up for success?
Totally.
It's not a matter of like, I just got to push through.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's a hard one for us when one of us comes to the other and is like, this is really bothering me, or I need to talk about this, and the other doesn't have capacity. We can sometimes default into that like caretaker mode and be like, oh, I have to show up for my partner. And then it doesn't end well because you don't have capacity. Yeah,
that's a tough one. And I think for most couples that I've observed, like for example, the other day I came home and I didn't even know I was overwhelmed or at capacity, but I had a really long day. Hard kind of couple things had happened, and then was like playing video games, trying to kind of like bring myself back. That thing that we learned about, remember I'll just say it and then bleep it, you know, that thing.
Right. Yeah.
I learned that and was just like, that really was just fucking my brain up for like hours. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I was like trying to play video games to just get out of that. And then I came upstairs and you were reading the old letters that I had written you, which is so great. And like you were really in that and like emotional and just, and I came upstairs and was just so not ready to be emotional.
Yeah.
And you started talking to me about it. And instead of me recognizing like, I just don't have this in me right now to even be in a positive emotion, I should have just maybe said that and told you how I was doing and why, and that I would love to hear about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And then it kind of caused a thing for us because I just kind of dismissed you as we were talking about it because I was too tired to hear it. So I was just more dismissive, you know? But if I had said that to you, you probably would have received that just fine.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, it's hard when the partner is honest with them about how they're doing and they take that personally. And that will discourage honesty in the future. Like that's such a hard thing when someone is, and maybe especially for, well, males and females, but it's harder for males to be maybe more vulnerable or more honest. And so when that does come, like, as long as it's coming in a good way.
Not in an avoidant way.
Not in and not in a manipulative, like, if I never want to hear what's going on with you and I'm like, I just don't have the capacity. But if I say that every day and we never get back to what you actually want to talk about, that's different. You know? Right?
Totally.
But you gotta like, even if they're being open and honest and sort of sharing something that's sort of true and genuine for them, even if it's not what you want to hear in that moment, take a beat and just try to, you know, just try to know that is actually like you're building in a good way.
Yeah. Trying to not take it personally when someone sets a boundary with you is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And
that's it right there.
I think that like that again is like takes time. It takes trust being built.
Yeah. A lot of practice.
It also makes me think about, I was going to say something earlier about, you and I both have talked recently about admitting like to ourselves or to our partner that we can't do this or we're not doing this well.
Yeah.
There's a fear that it's going to be like used against us.
Yeah, totally. Held over your head.
And the only way through that is like kind of trying and trusting that the person will respect that.
Yeah.
And I think it's again like the boundary of like not taking things personally. Like you kind of just have to try it out.
Yeah.
And
it's a tough one.
It's really hard because
like keeping score almost in your head. This one is just like, sorry to off track us, but this, I think, is one of the most common but unhealthy things couples will do is I'll bring something up to you. I'm just using us as an example. I'll bring something up to you that is maybe hard for you to hear. And then you'll say, well, you do this. Well, you've done that in the past. So, and I don't say anything. It's like, okay, you can't do that.
No.
If that is a concern to you, what I had done to you in the past, you need to bring that up. Like you can't use that as ammo when I sort of pass one over to you. You can't use that as ammo because like that's not what we're talking about right now. Like I'm trying to bring a concern to you and either hear that or just say this isn't the time. But if you just fire back with like, well, this, it's just not helpful. And it's maybe different if I was to be like, you never unload the dishwasher. And you were to say, well, you've never cleaned the toilets or something like that. You know?
I think if it's not if it's not fueled from resentment, or that feeling of like I've been keeping track of this, if it's coming from a place of like fact, like you never unload the dishwasher. Okay, but I
do this.
I do this.
Yeah, and like,
it's
is
like
it really that unfair? Yeah,
it's a tricky one. It's I think the energy. Where. Yeah, like
it is tricky. It is tricky, but like, wouldn't you agree? Like
totally.
That happens quite often. Is like, I've heard this quite often from people. Is they'll say this, and then it's like, And then they just said, well, you do this and you do that. And I'm like, man, that's so unproductive.
Because that's not necessarily untrue,
No,
but it's not the space.
no, it's
and
not.
it's coming in a like defensive, like, I'm not going to take accountability for what you've just shared that I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it right back on
Yeah.
you, and it's your fault now.
Yeah. And you're also saying that you are not expressing the things that are concerning you. You're actually just holding on to them and going to use them when I bring up something.
Which is a big trigger for you. You hate that.
For me, but yeah, you don't do this. Like,
no, but it's been something that I've had to learn to speak my needs, not in a, I don't do it in a way where, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. But you don't do that thing. You don't like, if I bring up a concern to you, you don't search for something that I've done in defensiveness. You are more trying on, like, is this really coming from a place of concern, or is he just overwhelmed and triggered and kind of taking his stuff out on me, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's kind of a different, and that's a separate issue in itself. Yeah. But what I'm talking about is someone brings something up, you know, and then they just are like, well, you do this.
Yeah. And I think that women can do that more often because we traditionally do have maybe more things to do. Like, I'm just thinking of friends that have kids and
I agree.
household duties and things like that. And
women do traditionally do more in the house.
Exactly.
Like most of the relationships I have witnessed, it is true.
Yeah. And so I think that there's
got to be communication there.
Well, there's an underlying, what am I trying to say? There's a history of women not being able to say, like, hey, this isn't equal.
Totally.
This isn't fair.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like in our bones.
Yeah.
And society
like,
keeps
how dare you bring that up?
Yeah.
Kind of
how dare you? Like, I do this.
Yes.
And it's not to say one is harder than the other. Like, you know, I think with couples, it's like, well, then I went to work, or there's like, there's this weighing of the, how hard is this?
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It's not about what's harder. It's about, I am feeling like I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. And that, it's so true. And I think, like, historically, without a freaking doubt, that has been something that women just have more put on them, especially in the household. But I think it's really important, like, if you are recognizing an inequality in workload, effort, parenting, whatever it is, like, that's a part of this thing, is you have to, like, deconstruct those cultural expectations and then bring that into your relationship in the 21st century. Like, don't participate in that, you know? And then it's up to the dude to receive it. But, like, if you feel like things are unequal, bring it up. Don't wait till they bring something up and then shoot back 50 things that, you know?
Well, and I think that's the thing, is like, women, we know this. Like, we know that, you know, I'm thinking of friends that have newborns and are breastfeeding.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how great their partner is, they can't breastfeed.
Totally.
You know? So, like,
but that has to be taken into consideration by the guy. Like,
totally.
How much effort, like, you gotta be, we've had these chats, you know, where I'll say, like, do you feel like things are equal? Like, do you feel like it's fair right now, the way things are with chores and with money and with this and that? Like, is it okay for you? And
yeah, it's important to check in frequently, because I think that
resentment's the worst.
Resentment can build before you even notice it sometimes.
It can.
Like, and then to break that pattern that women have been in for so long, like I said, like, it feels like it's kind of in your bones. You've witnessed your grandma, you've witnessed your mom, you've witnessed other women at work. Like, oh, well, you know, I have to do this.
Totally.
And it's like, sometimes there's situations like breastfeeding, like, you have to.
Yeah.
But are you able to advocate for your needs too?
Yeah.
Are you succumbing to that norm and, like, participating in it? Or are you actively asking your partner for help and they're dismissing you? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
And I think that we as women sometimes can feel very, like, worn down by that, like, societal this like unspoken
100%.
energy.
100%.
And I've come into our relationship, like I can speak for myself in that, where it's like literally like you and I were talking about, because we previously have bought our groceries separate
Yeah.
and made all of our meals separate.
Yeah. We had a piece of tape in the middle of the fridge.
Like
we didn't used to. We used to like buy them all together, cook together, and then we were like, no, let's just do the separate. So that we had a piece of tape in the middle of our fridge. Maddie was on the left, I was on the right. Works really well.
Would highly recommend.
If you eat differently, like I eat a lot of meat, Maddie doesn't, works really well.
Worked great.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where you were like, my schedule with having to drive to Victoria and all of these kind of things is so much. Can you help with this? Would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Fair. Totally fine. I'm on board with that. I start doing grocery shopping and I'm buying your groceries, which we have already established is like not going to actually come out of my
No, you take
money.
it out of the money you pay me for mortgage.
Rent.
Every month. Yeah, Maddie pays me rent. Yeah.
But like, I know that. I know that there's not this new expectation of I'm buying groceries, so it has to come out of my bank account.
Yeah.
I know that you wouldn't want that.
No.
And yet I felt uncomfortable being like, okay, but what if at the end of the month I'm only paying you like...
This is new information.
No, we talked about this.
Continue.
Like, remember when I was like, but what if I only pay you X amount for the mortgage because I've deducted what you've bought in groceries?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I felt like that was wrong and not fair because of this, like, maybe this.
Like maybe I should just be buying the groceries and eating that because I'm the woman and that's my job.
Exactly. Which is like not what I think and never what you've put on me. But there's this like
craziness.
Looming kind of like, well, women do this.
Women are responsible for the food.
Yeah. Like.
If she doesn't cook, I don't eat.
Yeah. And it goes to like, if we really want to extrapolate it, it goes to my abandonment wound of being like, if I'm not providing and if I'm not doing a good job and if I'm not appeasing you, you will leave.
Yeah.
So if I do something wrong or if I fuck up in some way, you will leave. And so when circling back to healthy communication
literally.
And resentment,
you brought it up.
You need to be honest with yourself and reflect with what is going on for you and be able to talk with your partner about it. Because if you don't,
it's going to build.
It will always get worse.
It will get worse. It will build. The carpet will get bigger. You'll trip. Like if you notice resentment, like sit with it and really try to like tease apart. What is this? Is this mine? Is it something that they're doing that I don't like, that I would like to share? And then they have to receive it. But man, if it's there, like bring it up.
And not, like you said, not in a way of like, I'm overwhelmed, so it's your responsibility now.
No.
I think it's important to recognize like, and I've done this, like, am I feeling resentful because I've asked you to help me with something and you have not?
Yeah.
Or am I feeling resentful because I haven't asked?
Right.
But I'm hoping you will do something different.
That's another toughie is like I remember learning about this in one of my psych courses. It was actually, I think the class was healthy communications.
Oh.
And it was, you cannot expect your partner to read your mind. Like I know, and this is one that comes up a lot with people is, but I just want them to know that. Like I just want them. And there's a difference between I've said this to them 500 times and still like you tell me every day, can you take out the trash? Can you take out the trash? If I never took out the trash, that's on me. You've told me a bunch. You don't need to tell me every day, you know? But like, you know?
If you don't know, you can't do different.
If I don't know, because I'm living in a different world, I've got different things on my mind. And like within reason, but you can't really expect them to just know what you need and what is best for you. And like you just can't. It would be great, and like you'll get better at sort of learning your person as you guys go through your relationship, but really try to work on just if something is sitting there and you need something and it's within reason, bring it up, communicate it.
And I think that's something that's really hard because of how media is in like the snapshots of relationships that we see in our day-to-day life, like of our parents or our friends or whatever, you're still often just seeing highlight reels, or you're seeing the more like.
What do you mean by that? Like, I'm not exposed to this.
So what I mean is like you don't necessarily see the hard conversations that are happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, like when you see like healthy couples online and stuff.
Yeah, or just like you don't perceive that someone would be maybe having those conversations.
Right.
And what I'm thinking of is like I've had friends, and I've felt this too, where it's like I don't want to have to ask my partner to care about me. I don't want to have to ask them to like do nice things for me. And I think that you kind of do. To some extent.
To some extent.
If there's like a particular thing that you want, like, you know, it means a lot to me if they do this. If it you know, this would make me feel so loved. It's kind of the same with sex. Like if you don't tell your partner what you like, they're just going to make an assumption and keep doing what they're doing.
Totally. Like you expect them to know exactly where to go and when and whatever. It's like, that's kind of unrealistic.
Yeah. And if you're like not appeasing, but like if you're like thankful to, you know, if you always
to receive it.
Yeah. If you always bring me flowers and I always say thank you, the messaging you're getting is, oh, she likes this.
Yeah.
If I'm not telling you, like, actually, I hate these flowers, or actually, it stresses me out that you're spending money on this, or actually, this would mean a lot more to me.
Yeah, totally.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
But I think that there's this wish that is fair to have. And I think it's promoted in social media and like, and movies and things like that, that your partner, if they really love you, will just know. And that's just not realistic.
No. And it's not an excuse for people to be negligent and uncaring and absent.
No.
You know, and to say like, well, they never said. So I didn't know that I had to remember their birthday. You know, like it's like, okay, it's not an excuse to be shitty.
Yeah.
You know, within reason, like use your common humane sense here. But yeah, like certain things. What's an example for us? Like,
well, we'll use the example of birthday. Like birthdays have been really difficult for me.
Right.
And you know that because I've told you.
Yeah.
And
that's a good example.
You know that it's not even about, you know, for me, it's not about a gift. It's not about
money.
It's not in that sense. Whereas for someone else, maybe it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, because I've communicated with you and you kind of understand what's going on for me, that birthdays are really important to me. And so you take extra care into that. You also know that like notes and cards are really important to me.
Yeah.
Are they important to you? Maybe not. Like
I like them.
You enjoy them, but it's not tied to anything for you.
No.
Whereas I think you probably care more about a cooked meal.
I do. Oh my God.
That's like, you love that.
Tangible.
Right? And
love languages, you know?
Yeah, it kind of goes to the love languages. And, you know, I think sometimes in a relationship can do a lot of things. I've felt this in our relationship. Where I've done a lot of things for you, like as my love language. But I'm not recognizing that your love language is different. Your need is different. And so it's not that all the things that I've done aren't like well received and that you're not thankful for them, but I'm missing the need that you're asking me for.
Right. And what's an example of that, if you want to share?
Sex.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, the way that I show love more naturally or more comfortably is like nurturing.
Yeah.
And so there's been times where I've felt that resentment build of like, but I do all of these things for you. I'm thinking of you constantly. These are all the ways that I show you love.
Whereas for me, being physically close is more, it weighs more.
It hits different for you.
Yeah.
Just like I have, you know, I don't know.
Well, it's the opposite. Like you'd probably rather, like cuddling kind of means more in a sense. And
I would say like the emotional connection hits harder for me.
Yeah.
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 And so that's what makes me feel like really safe and
Yeah.
connected and secure and all of
Yeah.
those things.
And that's such a good example, though, if we can talk about it, is like, I feel more connected after being physically intimate, which allows me to be a little more emotionally open. Whereas for you, it's the opposite. To feel okay to be intimate physically, you want to feel emotionally close. And that's something we've had to like work with each other on, you know?
And I think it's really common in that kind of like male-female relationship.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that that's another part of resentment is like you can't also think of all of the things that you do
Yeah. Like,
to like kind of throw back at them. Like if you were like, you know, it would mean a lot to me if we had sex tonight. And I'm like, but I went grocery shopping, I cooked you, I did, but you're not arguing that. You're not saying that I didn't do those things. And you're not saying that you don't value those things. What you're saying is, this is something that would mean a lot to me right now.
Yeah, totally.
And this is important to me. Can we do this together? Yeah. And I think that that's another thing that happens in those like heterosexual relationships of like the woman has been feeling so overwhelmed by all of the things that she has to do throughout the day. Yeah. And all the ways that she like keeps the family safe and keeps the kids safe and all that kind of stuff. Totally. That then the guy will come in and be like, can I have this? And it's like, fuck you. I've done so much. And it's like, both of those are true. Yep. But if you are not communicating through that, definitely, you guys are going to lose your shit at each other. Yeah, it's so true. Like if you feel that you've done all those things, which you have, and that has tired you out or you've done so much, let that be known. Because that person, that guy might not consider that. And they should maybe, but... And over time, like you want to just be honest and bring it up and this and that, to just build that language with each other of what means something to you, what means this to me, what do I feel like effort is, what's effort to you. Like you're two completely different people. You're completely different people. And I think that it goes back again to that feeling of like, well, he should just know. Yeah. Well, yeah, in a perfect world, he should just know. Totally. And it would be so beautiful. Everybody just knows what everybody's like, and no one has to question. Yeah. But that's just not true. And it doesn't matter how long you guys have been together for. No. If it's not consistently communicated or checked in upon, the absence of that conversation will build resentment, anxiety, overwhelmed, all those things. Yeah. I think about a friend that I recently talked with, and we were joking about how like we'll go to the grocery store for ourselves or something like that, or we'll be out and we'll be like, oh yeah, Matt needs peanut butter. Oh, is there anything else that Matt needs or that he would want? I don't know, but I don't think that that's something that's as automatic for you. No, I've had to try to learn that. I will like be at, I often will be like sitting outside the store about to go in and I'm like, I should ask her if she needs something. Right. But it's not natural to me. I don't, for me, it feels more like I'm just used to taking care of myself because I've lived alone for so long and I'm just used to like groceries for me or for me. It's like, I'm not like, you know, it's like an independent thing, but of course, like it's great to take that into consideration. And it's not because you don't love me and you don't care. No. It's just that your brain operates differently. Like your priorities, your perspectives are different than mine. Yeah. And whereas like me being the like very nurturing and self-sacrificing person that I am, I'm often thinking of other people's needs before I'm checking in with my own. Yeah. And so that's not great, but that's just that is something that I have to kind of be mindful of, right? Yeah, totally. And I think that comes out in relationships and communication where what I value, you don't value or you don't even think about. Yep. And it's like, but you don't even know. No. And I think a general maybe anchor thing to come back to for people is, does it feel fair right now? You know, does it feel equitable enough? And if not, and then, you know, it's going to get into the weeds of like, it does for some person and it doesn't for the other. But, you know, and this person's like, well, I feel like it is. And I feel like it's not. You know, finding some sort of compromise or some sort of middle ground. I keep thinking of the breastfeeding thing. Right. Like there's like a friend that's breastfeeding, she's like, I feel like a cow. Like there's, because it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't get to choose if I want to do this or
Totally.
not.
Yeah.
I cannot pass this role off. I
Yeah.
have to do this.
Yeah.
But it's also temporary.
Yeah.
So you're having that conversation with your partner of being like, okay, this is hard for me and
Mhm.
I'm going to have even lower capacity.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can
Yep.
find a middle ground or
Yep.
find a compromise?
Yep.
Because this reality is going to be here for a bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing, not so much resentment, but anxiety to talk about things like money.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
I know that that's really hard for
Yeah.
people to talk about.
Yeah.
We're really good with money. We seem to have very similar values, so it's been okay for us.
Pretty lucky in that way.
It's like so common to have different things.
I think that's the most common significant issue for couples. I remember learning about this. I think that was number one, was issues with money was the most common, like, significant relational disruption.
Well, I mean, for me, money means security and safety for me. That doesn't necessarily mean...
But it does for me, like, pretty much. We're lucky again in this way.
Whereas, like, I know other people, it's like, our one friend who loves to travel.
Yeah.
Money is a means to travel.
Yeah.
Right? So that is their value. That's not wrong.
No.
That's just different than how we feel.
Yeah.
But I think...
Their partner is more like you and I,
Yeah.
like frugal, sort of, let's have a bunch in the bank before we think about doing that. Let's not,
And I think that that's one that brings up anxiety to even talk about.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even to the point of resentment, but like, if I'm too anxious to tell you that, like, your spending habits are making me feel nervous because we now share a bank account or we have a mortgage or something. If you just don't bring that up, then it will lead to resentment, but it will also lead to so many other unnecessary things.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm feeling stressed about, say you go down and you're like, I'm going to work less. And I'm feeling nervous about our finances.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
If I don't express that to you,
Yeah.
I might start living my life differently to overcompensate.
Yeah.
And then build resentment.
Yeah.
Or be in this like unnecessary stressed state.
Yeah.
When really I could have just been like, okay,
Yeah.
this makes me feel anxious. And you could be like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Just say it.
Like, how can we work together on this?
For sure. Yeah.
I have to pee.
Yeah. I was going to say, take a little coffee break. Yeah. Come back and maybe discuss one more thing.
Okay. Let's finish with like one more.
Yeah. Should we define some terms?
What do you think? I'll pose two questions and you can decide which one.
Okay. Okay.
What do you think is the
If I talk like this all day, I sound like Kermit the Frog. Okay.
Yeah.
Pose.
Question one.
Do you change your hair between now and our just sitting down?
I pulled my pony out.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it looks different.
Yeah.
Okay.
You even been looking at me? Do you even care?
Communicate that.
Okay. What do you think is the what is my question?
Yes, what is your question?
If you had one takeaway about healthy communication for men.
For men?
In relationships, what would your tip be?
I think, generally speaking, the thing that blows up communication the most is when you're triggered and you don't know. So you gotta first try to understand what triggers you, what's difficult to talk about, what you don't like to talk about, and look at it as a freaking sport. Like, you don't know how to play tennis and you're gonna go learn and you're gonna suck for the first while and you're not gonna know what the fuck a backhand is, a forehand, how to move, what the rules even are. You might not know anything, and that might feel vulnerable and whatever. If you've done jujitsu, you know what that feels like. Like just feeling overwhelmed and vulnerable and sort of just so easily manipulated, or destroy whatever, you just got to feel like you might be a fish out of water. But try. Just try. Just show up and try. Try to communicate and listen to what your partner is saying to you, whether it's a woman or a man or whatever. Just listen to them. Just try. And you're smart. If you can learn how to play tennis, you can learn how to communicate. And it's harder in a sense because it's going to bring up more stuff for you, but that's okay. Like those things that it's hitting on, the reasons why it's uncomfortable, that's a good thing. That's the stuff that you need to sort of be with and go into and let your partner in on. Like, I feel like I can't talk about this, honey, because I just feel like you're going to think I'm
weak.
You're going to think I'm weak, say that. If you feel that, say it. And if they say you are, don't be with that person.
Not cool.
No, it's not. You're not weak for doing that. There's nothing weak about it. There is nothing weak about it. It will make you stronger.
I think like you and I have.
Did I answer that?
Yeah. No, I think that was good. And I just think it's like an opportunity to share kind of like a personal experience that we've had with this.
Yeah.
So because lots of things, our libido, our intimacy, the needs that we have are different because we are different people.
Yeah.
I have a certain history that has led me to feel maybe that I'm not as excited about sex or it brings up different things. You have not had that reality.
No,
so
it's been a stress relief for me.
Yeah. Very different realities coming to the table.
Yeah.
Very different needs coming to the table.
Yeah.
So the whole of our relationship, I would say this has been one of the most challenging things that we've had to communicate through and navigate. And we're still learning.
Yeah.
And we've we've been together going on 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're counselors and we have all the skills and we still fucking suck at it sometimes.
Yeah. It's
to talk about.
Yeah. It's still going to be really difficult, triggering and hard.
But one of the most pivotal conversations we had recently, I feel, was when you shared something about, you said something along the lines of, I feel like if I admit that I'm struggling with this, you're going to use it against me. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
And you were scared to even go into that part and that conversation.
The vulnerability.
Because it felt like for whatever reason, you were coming into the conversation with me feeling like if I say that I don't know how to do this or I'm struggling with this or I haven't done this well, that Maddie is going to use this against me and she's going to stop trying because I've admitted it's my fault. Yeah. And so she's going to just be like, hey, then it's your fault. You better fucking figure it out.
Yeah. Like if we're not aligned on it, then it's all on me to fix and help because it's related to my stuff.
Yeah.
Like my coping with stress or whatever, I go towards this. So my fear is like, well, it's just, she's always going to say, well, it's your problem. You said that it's your thing. So you go deal with that. And that is just, I had that kind of subconsciously in my head. But that is so not what's happened.
No. And
it's the opposite actually.
And that's the thing is it took you this long in therapy. And I'm not saying this as a critique.
No.
I just want to
it is good. It's a good reference point. Because I have had a lot of therapy and experience with all this stuff and still it can be difficult to just access.
Yeah, you were feeling like, I don't even know what it is. It finally kind of came up. You probably took some time to be like, oh, it's there, but I can't say that. It's too...
I didn't even know.
Yeah, there's all these kind of subconscious things. So it even just takes time and practice being in the conversation to deduce what actually is going on under the surface.
Yeah.
Even for someone that is skilled in this, right?
To find the truth,
And it still was very scary and very vulnerable for
Yeah.
you to say that to me.
Yeah.
But actually, it worked the complete opposite to what your fear was telling you.
Yeah, it did.
Because what had been happening is that protective part of you was like, I can't admit that this is something I need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something that Maddie needs to work on.
That's the crux of it.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't admit this. It's not safe. So
Mhm.
Maddie needs to work on this.
I can't admit that it's something I need to work on because then she'll always think it's my thing.
Mhm.
And I'll be like more alone with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually what was happening was you acting in that protective place and putting it
Putting
on
it
me
more on you.
made me build resentment.
Yeah.
And made me feel alone in it and made
Yeah.
me feel confused
Yeah.
and pulled us away from each other.
Yeah.
What you sharing has done has allowed it instantly made me feel like, okay, I know we have the same reality. I'm
Mhm.
coming in with my stuff. That's not going away just because you've admitted that you have a
Mhm.
part in this.
Mhm.
But now we're both in this
Mhm.
together and we're both going to work on this together.
Yeah.
And we can both admit, oh, that's mine. Oh, that's yours. Like,
yeah, for sure.
it felt like it just felt so less scary
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
It felt like, okay, well, yeah.
Well,
Of
I
course.
owned a huge piece of it that I was actually bringing to the table, but didn't want to admit. And instead of you using that against me, you were thankful.
Yeah.
And grateful, and you just felt like you were thankful
Because
and it actually brought us closer, like both emotionally and physically.
Because I think that protection and kind of deflection onto me
Yeah.
was making me feel a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Because there was a part of me that was like wounded in the sense of like, well, yeah, it is my fault
Mhm.
because I am broken or whatever
Mhm.
belief I have about myself,
Yeah.
which is already there.
Yeah.
And so a part of me is like, he's right. It is all me.
Yeah.
But then another part was like, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
So I was like constantly in this like push and pull of like, what is the reality? Like, what is actually happening here?
Mhm.
And you admitting,
Who's responsible for what?
yeah, you admitting like this is my part.
Mhm.
It was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
It allowed me to take more accountability for what I'm bringing to the table and what I
Yeah.
need to work on because it didn't feel like it was put on me.
Yeah. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like even throughout all of the struggles we've had with this, I've tried to admit that some of it is my part.
Yes.
Or a good portion of it. I think in that conversation in particular, what I admitted was like, if I am struggling with that, like if I were to just bring it up and say, I am struggling with this, then I thought you would use that against me. You know, it's almost like the real time honesty of saying, oh, like I'm feeling triggered, or I'm feeling insecure, or whatever. It's coming up. And just being able to know that that is going to be received, I think was a huge thing, you know? And that I can say that, and me feeling that doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. It means that I'm feeling it because it's mine, but I could own that more so because I knew that you were going to receive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think like it didn't feel like in previous conversations where you've named like this is what's going on for me.
Yeah.
You were able to do that, but you weren't able to connect and kind of own that like, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Because you were feeling so overwhelmed and stressed and other things that it was like, I know that this is a problem or I'm struggling with this, but I don't even know how to do this. So you do it for me.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you even just like admitting to yourself that and to me of like, I know that this is something that I do instantly like made me feel like, well, I don't like now that it's not this like manipulative thing.
Yeah.
I will help. I do want to help you with it because it's like more consensual in a sense.
For sure. Like I'm actually owning my part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you want to come to the table too.
Yeah. And so I think like it's just Communication is not something that you're just going to get and then it's going to be smooth sailing.
God, no. And like, if you see that on social media, and like, we're a good example, you know, I don't know if we seem super happy, like we are,
Mhm.
but it's from a lot of work, a lot of conversations. We were not two puzzle pieces that just fit perfectly together.
No.
And we had a really good foundation because we are very similar, like fundamentally in the most important ways. We are
Mhm.
like, we're really lucky in that way.
Mhm.
But we've put in a lot of work, like a lot of hard conversations. And it's not like, I used to hear that like relationships are work. And when I was young, I thought, well, they shouldn't be a lot of work.
Mhm.
I had that more romantic Hollywood idea that relationships are just like, oh, you just meet each other, you lock eyes, and it's just perfect. And, maybe for some people, if that's you, sweet.
Yeah.
But I actually think the best relationships are going to test all those things in you. It's like the yin to the yang, like all those parts of you that are a little more, I don't know, you're going to test each other. You're going to bring out the difficulties in each other. And that's how you grow. That's how you grow through your more immature bits or parts. Your partner's going to shine a light on that for you. So you can either look at it or you can turn your head.
And it's okay sometimes, like, I'll share like something that's hard for me is receiving feedback.
Yeah.
Because it goes to a place of like, I'm bad, or he's going to see me as less than, or whatever it might be. Sometimes I have to tell you, like, I'm not in a space where I can take feedback right now.
Yeah.
And that's not avoiding growth. It's recognizing my capacity in that moment is not going to be
for sure
available.
100%.
Just like you saying after a long day of doing counseling that like, I want to be there for you, hun, but I need to decompress for a little bit before we have this conversation, because I can't come to the table and be there for you in the way that I want to.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me.
And no person is going to be able to meet all your needs all the time. It is not possible. And you can't have that expectation, And
it's also not, I would say it's also kind of not healthy.
It's not.
Because then...
It's not. Because
I think I'm still obsessed with you. But I was obsessed with you in the beginning, right?
Yeah, me too.
Right? Like...
Yeah. I'm obsessed with you in a different way.
A more healthy, grounded way, right? Yeah. But in the beginning, like, we were both coming in it as like, I'm going to save that person. And we are, especially you to me, right? And so I perceived you meeting all of my needs perfectly. In reality, it was like, that wasn't true, because that's just not possible.
No.
But also it was like kind of rose-colored glasses of a situation. Like, you can't meet all my needs perfectly.
No, and the beginning stages are just...
It's not reality.
It's not what the relationship will be.
No. But also, it made me so fucking dependent on you.
Yeah.
Because I was getting my needs met, especially in ways that my past relationship, just experiences in my whole life, I had not had those needs met. It was like, finally, I was like getting to eat or get, like, I'm on Survivor and it's the feast reward day, right? I'm obsessed and I'm getting all my needs met.
Yeah.
But it's not helping me be able to meet my own needs.
No.
Or discern when actually it's not, what you're giving to me is not what I need.
No. And like, I would get a lot of value in that and meeting someone's needs. And in that way, I would lose myself a little bit, and then resentment would build. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you're going to come in and it's going to be crazy and rosy, or maybe it's not, but it's going to, like, there's waves, man. A lot of waves.
We should do one on long-term relationships.
Yeah, like the development of it and sort of the trajectory that you might expect, or...
Because I think that's been a big learning for you.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Your face.
Yeah.
But not so much for me.
Yes.
Different for me.
Different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. We should definitely do
that. We should. Yeah.
I will just never forget when we went on our first date and we were sitting at Spectacle Lake, and you were like, or I maybe asked you, like, what's been your longest relationship? Like, and you were like, oh, I think like 10 months. What about you? And I was like, like 11 years. And you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember
There
when
was just
you
like
said that.
a little pause
Yeah.
where it was just like, both of us were just like, whoa.
Yeah. So different. So different. I know.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, we could definitely go into that. That's an interesting one. And what it even is to like come in that like real specific thing of, 10-month was my longest and had various sort of shorter around that time ones in there. And then yours was just one
and done.
And then like a couple little flings here thereafter. But so different.
So different.
Yeah. But actually it's like helped us a lot in certain ways. Don't you think?
Yes.
It's worked against us and helped us. Like, for example, what it takes to like really be in something with someone, like to just commit and grind, and it's not always going to be perfect and this and that. And then
what have you brought?
Well, if something isn't working, I would seek elsewhere, and I found you, and you are the person that like I want to do this with. But yeah. I spent a lot of time, because I was in a lot of different relationships, thinking about why did this work? Why did this one not work? What like I was constantly building a almost framework for how a healthy relationship should go. Yeah. Like Jesse and I talk about this all the time, and I think I brought that almost like a bit of a blueprint for, I theoretically know what it takes, but I didn't actually know, which is I think where you come in.
But I think that helped me get out of that, like just grind through it. Like you've committed, so you just have to. Exactly. It made me start to question things of like, well, do I like that in a relationship? Yeah. Do I want that in a partnership? Yeah. Does that work? Or am I just kind of succumbing to like, well, we're committed.
Totally. Yeah. And there's times where I've like helped you like advocate in that way for yourself and been like, yeah, but that's not fair. Yeah. Like it should be equal. Yeah. Like, no, you don't have to take off the grocery money from what, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that just makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that next time.
Okay, cool. Good job.
Teamwork.
Ugh. I have no idea how good it sounds. That was terrible.